Well, good morning, everybody. My name, like I said, is Art Beamish. I'm based out of Atlanta. I cover the Southeast 7 states in the sales part for Legend Brands. Anybody know who Legend Brands is? Anybody heard of Legend Brands? Heard of them, okay. Legend Brands, 50-year-old company based out of Burlington, Washington. We manufacture drying equipment, dehumidifiers, air movers. We manufacture that under the Dry-Ease brand name. They're blue. Not all of ours are blue because we have other people coming in that made blue ones from other places and they look just like ours. But anyway, so we manufacture all the equipment in Burlington. We also have a chemical facility in Arizona that we make all of our own chemicals also for the cleaning restoration industry. So we have the main facilities in Burlington, Arizona. We also make truck mount equipment, mainly for the carpet cleaning industry. And then we have a facility in Nashville, Tennessee, which is our distribution warehouse for the whole East Coast. We also, there is our training institute. We have a training drying school there. We have a flood house there. So we bring people in, train them, flood the house, show them how to get the water out, dry it out, and do that. And we do certifications also there for mold remediation, drying, all that kind of stuff.
Is that primarily commercial customers or could
It's anybody. So we have developed a program called Ready to Respond, and we implemented this program, started with the University of Tennessee, and the way it started, we sell to all the contractors, ServPro, ServiceMaster. We build their equipment for them. We build them in green. We build them in whatever color they want. So we supply and train all those guys. Belfour, whoever it is, 90% of the equipment the contractors use is our equipment. So we were thinking like, okay, how can we do a better job of helping these facilities out, save some money, train and equip them to take on some of this water damage themselves. Because, when you look at it, you have a toilet overflow, a sink pop, and it's, one room. Like you call a contractor in, they're coming in, they're doing their thing, and they're charging a lot of money for it. And that's not what they want to do. They want 3 floors flooded. They want to come in there for a month, set their equipment up and charge you, by the day, hour, whatever, which is great, however they want to do it. But we were trying to figure out a better way to do it. So we put a program together called Ready to Respond. So let me get to this. So they're inevitable water damages. I guess all of you have had water damages in your facilities. Anybody get up to $1 million in water damage? Anybody get to $2 million a year? Nobody. Okay. University of Tennessee is between 3 and 5 million a year is what they're spending in water damage. That's just one. So just some facts. 2,700 organizations have water damage. 80% of commercial water losses are clean water. We teach everybody the clean, brown, and dirty water because a lot of people do not know the difference. There's a huge difference in what you're cleaning up also. 75 commercial insurance claims, their deductibles are going up. University of Tennessee has skyrocketed up because they have had so many water damages and putting them on the insurance thing. So another thing that came out of this was, okay, if you can do this in-house, you're not calling your insurance company. You're not having this and your deductibles keep going up. So it saved them a lot of money on rising deductibles also. So here's some challenges that we do. When we go in, we start with an assessment. We come in for free, assess your facilities, go through your campus, go through your buildings, see where your water damage has been, go through your people process. What do they know? What do they not know? Ask a lot of questions and see, how we can help you. So during this, we have found out that trained for water damage, 96, no, they're not. Nobody's come in there and trained them exactly how to do it. Do you have a written response plan? 99% do not have a written response plan when a flood happens. Do you know where your water cutoffs are? Do you know what to do? Who are you calling? What are you doing? They do not have any idea of how to do that. Do you know when something's wet? This was a surprise to me going through these facilities. And they're like, yeah, I look at it, I step on it, I feel it. Is it wet? Do you have a moisture meter? Do you have an infrared? No, they have not, and they do not. Quick side story on this. I was at University of Alabama, Birmingham, 2 weeks ago doing an assessment. And he said, yeah, we had a water thing leak in this, it was in the chapel area of it. And so we went in there and he's like, it smells horrible in here. And the chaplain had a little dehumidifier, and he said, yeah, I ran out to Home Depot and got my own. Nobody would do anything. It was still, we put an infrared camera, the entire area was wet. They came in there and thought they dried it and everything, but they didn't. They had no idea it was still wet. So that was just wet, and it was starting to cause mold and mildew and all that. So anyway, it's surprising. And then, on the last one, let me put these on because I can't read it. Do you know when something's dry? They come in and they touch it. Again, moisture meters, infrared, then you know when it's dry. So, University of Tennessee, we did a case study with Randy Hamilton there after we kind of got his whole thing set up. And it was the first one we set up with the Ready to Respond program. So they had 250 aging buildings. They're very old in Knoxville. He had new construction. And he was like, Art, he said, I got water losses in brand new construction that are just driving me crazy. So not just because they're old, new buildings that he's building also. His annual water loss, like I said, 2 to 4 million, had 5 million a couple of years ago because it was the big freeze in the south area over Christmas Eve. He went out there, they called and said, hey, we got major issues. And almost, 10 buildings were flooded from the top down because the pipes broke. And some of the pictures, I don't have them, but he had ice waterfalls coming out of windows all the way down the building. So they flooded. They had just finished a brand new sorority house, redoing a sorority house. The entire thing flooded. It was 1.2 million in water damage from that one loss. So he spent about $200,000 in small clean losses a year, and his insurance deductible was at $50,000. Now I think it's at $85,000 for deductible. So it has gone way up. So sources of water problems, too varied. He couldn't tell. We're not there to tell you exactly where all your water problems are. We kind of assess and talk to everybody and see where your main issues are. Are they roofing? Are they windows? Are they pipe breaks? Are they students? Are they, try to get an idea. He had no dedicated water response team, high staff turnover. He didn't have many staff at all. No training. And his equipment was a fan and a couple shop vacs. So that was it. So we went in there. He asked me, he said, can you read a blueprint? I said, yep. And he said, here's blueprints of the whole thing. Here's this, this, and this, and this. And he said, tell me what I need. So I put together a equipment list for him to start with. It was about $40,000 worth of equipment to get him started. We went in there, we trained, and we're about to retrain because he has hired 4 more techs now because he saved so much money in doing this that they're like, this program is great, hire techs, here's more money, buy more equipment, and get this thing really moving throughout the campus. So let's see, saved him $400,000 in contractors in the last 18 months. The return on investment paid for much more equipment and hiring 2 more restoration techs. He's actually hired 4. The team is well trained, and they're able to train their own new employees. That's the goal. Once we come in, you get the equipment, we do a whole first responders training. We come in and train everybody there, and we get them where they are trained well enough to train new techs when they come in. We can come back in and train, they can train them too. We hope that it's all going on campus so they can train their own. he decided, hey, I'm going to put a mobile trailer in too to get around campus. So we said, how big's the trailer? What are we looking at? And designed the equipment to fit what he wanted to in it, and we outfitted the trailer for him. We are now able to supply a trailer with racking, because everybody's like, hey, a trailer makes a lot of sense, especially, getting around campus as an added extra thing. So that's what we've done. We're able to rack it up, set it up with the equipment, and deliver you the trailer. So that's since this whole thing has started. So pretty neat. I have a video of University of Tennessee. I'll show you real quick.
We're obviously a large university, somewhere around 16 million square feet, 600 something acres. So we had a water loss in the luxury suites at our stadium that happened to be right before they had a professional match. They called us and asked us to respond, said they needed it in 2 days. And I'm like, okay, I know that if I call the contractor, they're going to come in, they're going to want to do a lot more than what we really needed to do. So we knew it was clean water. We went in, cleaned it up, dried it up, had another group put the cove base back in, and was ready for the match the next day.
So that was Randy, who we worked with, and that was a very important water cleanup. It was one of the large donation guys in Tennessee for the University of Tennessee. It was his suite that got flooded. So he went in and cleaned it up before the football game. So it was very, very important and worked very well for Randy, thank goodness. So best practices in the gaps. How to close the gaps. You got to develop a written plan for immediate responders. Like I said, most people do not have an immediate plan what to do. We help you with that plan when we come in and do the assessment, and then we come back in. We will help you write the plan if you need us to, based off of our knowledge and what other universities and school systems have done. Internal communication plan for water vent notification. A lot of people do not have anything. Like who you call, how do you get it going? Who you calling? Do you have a dedicated number that goes directly to the director of facilities or whoever you need to? So we go with that and maybe come up with a plan or help you develop a plan of who to do that to. There's call centers that you can set up to do that also that we can help you with. Whatever works for you guys if you don't have anything. Assign and train personnel for water shutoff procedures, implement safety measures to address water, excess humidity and hazards, internal team training, do all that. We train you on how to do the extraction and water drying process. It is not, a lot of people think you're, okay, bring a shop vac in, throw some fans on and you're done. It's a scientific procedure of getting the water dry based off of cubic feet in the area. So we teach you the simple math of like, how much do we need for this room to dry it properly, where to put the equipment and get it done in a very quick amount of time. Dedicated water extraction and drying equipment. Like I said, a lot of people do not have the proper equipment. Locations. Equipment storage. This is a big part of our assessment. We go through and we see where you're storing your equipment. Do you have space to store your equipment in each housing, dorms? Where are they? Are they centrally located on the campus? Do you need a trailer to get them from A to B? And come up with a plan of ideas of where to store the equipment that will help you out tremendously on getting this water up quickly. And conduct preventative maintenance to address ongoing water loss and humidity issues. That's another one, is preventive. We don't want water losses events, but if we can help prevent some of them or get ahead of it, that's a big plus. Another thing, if you have 2 floors flooded, we're not saying don't call your contractor. Everybody should have a contractor on a contract, on call, whatever. What we are saying is you have 100 minutes to start, to get this water up as fast as you can before it really starts doing some major damage. It's 100 minutes before it sets in and starts doing. Even if you call the contractor, it could be 30 minutes before they get there, 45. In Wake Forest case, hour and 20 minutes for their contractor to get there. We're saying, let's help you get the water up. At least start the process of everything. If you can get the water up, it'll help tremendously, not only on cost, but later on cost based off of the damage that it causes. So it's not just little events. You know, you can do a lot for a major event before the contractor gets there that will save you a lot of money. Yes.
140 minutes based off of basically just drywall, or what do you base that
It's 100 minutes before water sets into the drywall and subflooring also. It gets into the walls and the cracks and underneath. Depends on your floors. You know, you think they're coated and everything underneath your lay down carpet. A lot of them aren't that coated that great. So your water will seep into it. And if you can at least get the water up and start the process within 100 minutes, it's gonna not let the mildew mold start setting in because you're getting it up before it does that. So.
I'm trying to remember, what is the rule of thumb for must be dry before the mold starts to grow? Is it 48 hours?
It's about 48 hours. Yep. And you know, cutting drywalls, you know, the contractors come in. If it's an insurance claim, they don't care. They're ripping and going and cutting, and you don't need to do that. If you can get in there and start it in 100 minutes, you can save all that time, money, and effort. Especially if it is we do hospitals, and also is another big thing we do. And you go in there and they flood a surgical suite, and it's flooded, and it takes them 3 days to get that thing. How much money is lost in that unuse of a surgical suite? It's astronomical in that perspective. But classrooms being down, having to relocate students. If you can get this going and done, it saves a lot of headache and time and effort and money. Okay, so here's takeaway on how we can help your school. I gave Randy's contact. He said he is more than happy, which he has done, to talk to any other facilities that want to ask him questions, how the program worked for him, whatever. There's my information also. So the way the program works is you just tell me, okay, we're interested, come out and do an assessment. Assessment is free. Doesn't cost anything for us to come out. So what we do is we schedule the assessment. Usually, University of Tennessee was 2 days. Could be a day, day and a half, depending on how big your facility is. We have a team of assessors that will come in. It could be one, could be two, depending on how much time you have, how much, what you need done. We'll put it on the schedule, do the assessment. About 2-3 weeks later, we come back in and we present you with the findings. It is a very detailed, it's about 25 pages report of what we found, what we came up with. We also have a suggested equipment list that we do for the equipment you need, because we look at what equipment you have. We can add to that equipment. If you don't have any, we'll put an equipment list together. And we're not saying get rid of whatever equipment you have and buy ours if it's not ours. That's not what we're doing. We're coming in and helping you beef up what you have if you need it. Some people have a lot of equipment, and we'll tell you how to use it. So we do that. You say, okay, I need some equipment and let's go on. So we'll break this out into packages, because not everybody has $250,000, $100,000. So we found that out very quickly. So we'll put a package together and say you need 5 packages, 6 for your entire campus. You want to start with one, say $40,000, 30,000, somewhere in there, whatever it is. So you'll get the equipment in. As soon as you do, we'll set up us to come in with our trainers. We'll come in, we'll do training for your whole entire staff, as many as you want. It's usually about 3 to 4 hours. We can handle about 15 to 20 at a time. Otherwise it gets too big. And we can do it two of them in a day. We can stay for 2 days if you've got a bunch of people to train, however you want to do it. We get everybody trained. We set up the equipment. Our equipment, the dehumidifiers, air scrubbers, have a command hub on it. It is Bluetooth Wi-Fi, so you can actually see what your equipment is doing. You can turn it on, off. You can check the humidity in the room. On the air scrubbers, you can check the filter status. Do you need to change your filters? That kind of stuff. Turn them on, off. So we train everybody on the equipment. Our extractor is phenomenal, HVE 3000. It's in the brochure. It's not a shop vac. This thing is a piece of machinery that will suck the water up very, very, very good. It can do about 50 gallons a minute. You can suck out a hot tub in no time. It's got a 12-gallon hold tank or direct pump. So you can pump it directly into a slop sink or toilet or sink or whatever you want to do on that range of it. And that's your key. Your key is to start with getting the water up as quickly as possible. And I would highly recommend, if you do not have at least that, get one, because I can come back after you think it was dry with a shop vac and get a ton more water out with our equipment. So there's a big difference. So we teach you how to do the math to set up the space, what you need, air movers, dehumidifiers, and air scrubbers. Show you where to position them in the room. Show you the simple math on knowing how many you need. A lot of people think that, a couple fans and this will work. You got to get the air moving. It's inevitable you got to move the air around, a lot of it, to get it done right. So we teach how to do that. After that's done, you feel you're ready to go, ready to respond to your, water issues. You call us and say, hey, we need more equipment. We need more training. We do that. Okay, we'll come back in, and it's a partnership that we're doing with you guys. The only cost is the equipment. So it's a pretty good deal. The return on investment's huge, and the upfront money that a lot of this that we're taking on, it's quite a bit for us to come in and do this to partner up with you guys. So, but it's a great, partnership, team effort, getting this done. You also will have access to our online training. We have little videos. We have about 20 of them right now. They're short. They're about 2 minutes each, and they're training on each piece of equipment, on how to use it and that. So you have we'll give you access to that too. So if somebody needs brushing up on how does this dehumidifier work, how does the command hub work, there are little videos that you guys can use all the time. We come back in after 1 year. We reassess, not go through your entire campus, but just talk to you guys, see how everything's going, see if you need anything, equipment-wise, training-wise, and it's an ongoing process every year. My job will be to communicate with you monthly, at least, just to make sure everything's going good. If you need anything, that's what I'm here for. I can come down and train myself if you need anything on any of the equipment, anytime. So that's basically it. Any questions on equipment? Any questions on the program?
So, on the procurement side,
Yep.
just because I'm in that too, you guys deal direct, or you go through a distributor, or how does that work?
Good question. Either one. We were set up starting out that we would really only set up for distributors, Granger being one, Fastall being one, whatever. And then if you guys had a certain distributor that you worked with in your area that we didn't know, we would get them approved, go through that whole thing and get them set up to do it. We have now been able to change some of our ways of doing things, and we're able to go direct to, if you're not using a distributor and you'd rather do that, that's fine. We can do it that way too.
Do you know if you're on any type of cooperative purchasing contracts, like E&I or Sourcewell?
We are not, that I know of right now.
That usually tells us our path.
Right.
If you're not set up for 20 and over, we need 2 or 3 bids actually.
Sure.
Or we go through a distributor that we have a contract with.
Sure. Yep. And I think the equipment that has Granger on them. That's just, yeah, it's great. It's got their numbers on it. Most everybody has Granger. I mean, we partnered up with Granger. They stock for us very well across the country. But if we need to be set up on something, also we're very quick in responding and getting set up on whatever, GSA if we need to, for government type work or whatever, we can do that, or find somebody who is and just do it that way.
Yes, they can only have a certain schedule.
Yeah, GSA, I've dealt with that. That's not my favorite thing because it's almost you have to hire somebody 24/7 to deal with that, and that's not what we really want to do. But we can. It's easier for us to find somebody who's already set up on it and let them handle it. So as far as the purchasing goes, if you tell me, say, hey, I really want to do this, but my budget is July 1st. A lot of them are, a lot of schools are. But I want to get this in and get started. Great. Let's do this. Let's get your equipment and get you started, and you can pay for it whenever. We're very flexible on this kind of stuff because it's very important, I know, for you guys if you want this and want to do this, it's important to you and it's important to us to get you guys started. So we're not going to, nickel and dime you and say you got to pay up front or anything. No, we are going to work with you any way we can to get you guys what you need and deal with the other later. So whatever works. If you got to get 3 bids, you can put, however you want to for our equipment to make sure you get the right equipment. And I can tell you how to do that if you want to in a spec or something. We do that too.
We can also reference the program too, because everybody doesn't.
That's nobody does this.
Yeah, so it's not just equipment. I can go to Ferguson or.
Oh sure, yeah, we have Ferguson too. Yeah.
Granger,
Yeah.
fans, but
Yep.
this is a piece that we are lacking.
Yes, it's the program, and if you put it out as the program and nobody else is doing this yet, they're probably going to catch up at some point. But as of right now, we're the only ones doing this. So, and it's not going to be easy for others to do this type of program. They don't have the training facilities. They to train. They don't have the trainers to do it. And we also will give you a seat at one of our training classes. They're usually 4 or 5 days in Nashville and let you come in there and get certified for the training or that kind of thing. So, yeah, so that's part of the whole thing too. That does not cost you. As far as the training in Nashville, so we have different, if you want, I can send you the Training Academy's website and stuff, and you can look at which classes. It could be mold, could be this, and you get to pick which training classes you want. So you sign up for the training classes and do them. Those are a paid thing. The one that we put you in is we come in and do a first responders class training free, but this is the flood house. We flood the house and show you step by step how to do the whole. Obviously, we can't come in and flood a dorm room or something, but so you'll go through the entire process of flooding a house and getting it all done and how to know everything and the chemicals to use also that we provide. And you can take all that back and then you can train people, or you'd say, hey, this was really good. Art, I want to send 5 more. Okay. Here's the cost of 5 more to do that.
Different courses?
Yes.
All in one?
The one that you would go to is all in one. It's about 4 days and a week in Nashville, and it's 4 full days of training on that. Then you tell me, say, hey, I want to do the certified mold, certified this. I'll say, okay, let's look at that and see what that cost would be for those.
What's the price tag for the 4 days?
None. If you partner up with us, that is a freebie included in the thing, but I can do 1 seat for 1 person.
So,
The extra cost, if say you want, okay, I want, that one's free for me, but I have 2 others, I'll get you the cost on that. It'll be a discounted deal for that. So
when you say partner up, does that entail a contract? What does that entail as far as, is it just verbal?
right now, you tell me, Art, I want to do it. That's my contract. Yeah. I don't need that. I don't need a big written out thing and make this difficult. That's no. So, yeah, no. I know how that is. Yeah. If I say, no, I need a whole written thing and I need you to sign this for 5 years and, 1.2 million. And no, that's not, you'll be like, no, thank you. Nah, I just need
The advanced training that you talked about, the pay training.
Right.
Can you train to the level of actually doing air sampling?
Yeah.
So that's an expense for us when somebody calls and says, it kind of smells funny in here.
Yeah.
Can somebody come in and check? I think it's black mold in the air.
Yeah, right. Well, I hear it all the time. Yeah, students start coughing like, I got mold in the room. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah. Yes, and we use a certain air quality meter that we do. We can sell it in the package too. So when we come in and assess, we ask up front, do you mind if we take air quality readings? While we're going around. Some places are kind of funny about it, and some places are like, yeah, don't mention the word mold, mildew, anything while you're going around. We don't. We know that, but so we'll show you how to use that piece of equipment. They're kind of basically the same on that, but we'll teach you how to use the air quality and see what you're looking for. And you can set them up in the rooms, but we have portable ones that we take around and we sample it off a clean air sample. So we'll give you like, here's a clean air sample, here's where you were, and it's also chart red, green, yellow on the air quality too. So.
The fear with it, just so you know, is once you document it and hand it to Eric,
Yeah.
you're liable for taking care of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
20
Yeah.
buildings and you have to go and remediate, or it's a little high.
Yeah.
You just bought yourself a huge issue.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. So, but we do. Yeah, we'll show you how to do the air quality.
As a separate report.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm very careful with the air quality, and I don't. I did assess, but I'm not going to go around and bring that thing out when people are around. We usually go like in a dorm room and shut the door so nobody comes in there except for us, and do the air quality, and then I can put it in the report, or just here it is, and for your knowledge, and not put it in either way. It doesn't, however you want to do it. But yeah, we're very, especially in the hospitals. Most of them do not want us to do it, but we just did a couple of them, and they were like, "Can you go in a room where nobody is and do it?" I'm like, "Sure," and that's what we did. So, and it worked well. But they wrote down the results of their air quality, and they didn't want it in the report. I'm like, "I got it. Yeah, I can do whatever, however you want to do it." I will suggest on the air quality issue, because a lot of people don't have air scrubbers, don't really understand them or know what they are. They don't. So our air scrubbers, we have 2 of them. We have HEPA 700. It's a blue one. It's a pretty good air scrubber. It does about 2,000 square feet about every hour. It turns the air. It moves a lot of air through it. We also have an AP 700. We developed that for the healthcare industry. That one is antimicrobial outside. It's white. That might be turning gray. I don't know. I heard, or we might be doing a gray one instead of white. It also has UVC on it. So we are UVCing on the front side of the filter as the air is coming in. We're UVCing on the front side of the filter, so we're killing everything on that filter, and then coming out on the back end. So some of them have them on the back end. Ours moves so fast it would not really benefit doing the UVC on the back end of it. So that's why we're on the front end. Yes. Yeah, they use, some of them have their own in-room whole scrubbing system, which is pretty neat. Some of them use portable ones. I would highly suggest, if you think about this, if you're sucking water up and blowing stuff around, especially in universities and school systems, you can imagine what's in that carpet going around. So we always say at least put 1 air scrubber in when you're doing any remediation work. It's a benefit to everybody, as far as that goes. So I guess that's it. On the equipment, we have all different kinds of dehumidifiers. They do different levels of water pints per day. It's all on there. So we are going to size up, the way University of Tennessee did. Randy goes, "Hey, Art, I want to do 3 rooms and a hall to start with. What do we need?" So we sized up dehumidifiers for him to do that, which ones, air scrubber and air movers for him. So that's kind of the way we do it. When we have smaller ones, larger ones, just depends on what you need. Some of them, most all of them are, well, they all are now on wheels. They're everything's stackable that we make. Also, they're portable. We have a new one coming out. The Revolution on there is it's like a crawl space one, but it's portable. That one is being changed over to LGR 5000. It's small. It's about this big, and it's on wheels with a handle, which is very nice, especially trying to carry around 65 pounds. And you can stack 2 of them on top of each other. The handle comes up enough, and you put 2 on, and you're able to take 2 of them around for you. A couple other things on our equipment. The extractor is a dual pump. There's 2 plugs, so we're very cautious of overloading circuits. So you're able to plug them into 2 different circuits, each pump, and split it. Our Velo Pros, and you can daisy chain up to 10 of those. Those are my favorite air mover. There are 5 positions, and the way that those work is you can turn them up and down by the amps. So your speed of your fan goes up and down, so you know exactly how many amps each of those are drawing, and you're able to set them up as many as you need not to overload your circuit. They're all GFCI protected. Anything else on yeah.
Not only do we have internal floods here, but we deal with the hurricane.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
External
Yeah.
floods.
I'm a part-time resident of Florida and Georgia. I've placed down in Destin, so I am very familiar with hurricanes and yeah.
It comes from within and from the outside.
Oh yeah, it does. So, and you look at where your water's coming from. A lot of them are pipe related. A lot of them are coupling up under a sink. Randy just had three floors flood last week, 2 weeks ago. Why? It was a little coupling that was pretty new, and when he pulled it off, it was completely just rusted out and done. And it was supposed to be stainless, and he's like, "What kind of stainless is this?" And it was, yeah. He was looking. I was on the phone with him, and he's like, "Oh, made in where?" And he's like, "Nope, yeah, well that figures." So now he's like, "Now I got to replace all of them that they put in." Yep, 3 floors flooded because of that one thing. So, yep. So it's just an ongoing issue. But we're here to help you, partner up with you in any way we can.
You have a booth too, right?
I do not. I did not do a booth this time. So, nope.
Are you going to be here through the expo walking around?
Yeah, I'll be around. Yeah, if anybody needs anything, absolutely. I'm down here a lot. So if you say, "Hey, can you come by and help me out or look at something or do anything?" Be glad to any time. Yes, I'm going to be back down here pretty soon. We're doing assessments for Orlando Health for their hospitals. So we're assessing. We're probably not going to do all of them, but I've got 4 I know hospitals we're doing. Yeah, I just did Prisma in South Carolina, their entire system. So we're doing 4 or 5 of their hospitals. Bon Secours up in that area, we're doing 4 of their facilities. So yeah, we're busy. So, and as far as school systems go too, like K through 12, we're doing those too. We're doing we're going to assess Spartanburg County school systems. They have 100 something schools, but what we're doing is they have 7 districts. So I offered them, I said, I'll do 7 assessments, 1 in each district. You pick the school, or I can do, up to 7. So that's what we're doing. Because you're going to get a pretty good idea of a sampling without having to go assess, 200 schools or whatever. So we're doing that too. We're doing full school systems also. So
Anybody questions?
yeah, any other questions, equipment or anything?
I'm not trying to rush, but I think there's quick.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Yep. And
Good program. That's the first time I've ever seen this.
yeah, it's impressive. We got the right people in there to start this thing out and get this thing going. And it's been a learning process, just like everything else. But we've got it down pretty well now, and it works well. I also have equipment at my house. Like, hey, I want to try out this, that, and the other. I can ship it to you. You know, I have our new dehumidifier I was just talking about. It is actually on a Royal Caribbean ship as we speak, going around the Caribbean, and they're testing that out. They want to implement. We haven't assessed, but they are like, yeah, we want you to come down and assess a ship and start this program out for our fleet of ships. So that's a new one, and I was like, okay, because yeah. And she was like, Art. So I don't know if I can you get it done in dock? And I'm like, probably, you know. And she goes, yeah, but we're turning the ship in that day with people running around. I'm like, what do you suggest? She goes, can you take a 3-day quick cruise to the Bahamas? And I'm like, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
One day it'll work, 6 days.
I was like, whatever works for you. Yeah. So
You might need 7 days.
yeah, I
I'll
know.
have a drink package.
I know. And logistically, this one's going to be interesting because she's like, you know, we have ports of Spain that the ships don't move, and here and there, and so how can you do that? And I said, well, we have European partners that we can do this and do the training over there too, and do all this stuff.
You're gonna need to go to each.
I am. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cost of a different
Yeah.
environment.
I was like, it's my account. They're out of, you know, Miami. Like, come on. Yeah.
If you need help with that,
All right. I'll let. Exactly.
willing to learn.
Like, come on. You want to go on an assessment? Let's go. Yeah. So, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys' time.